As I stumble through what appears to be a palace, my senses are accosted by a melange of unfamiliar sights and sounds. Glistening marble floors unfurl beneath my feet in extravagant patterns, creating reflections that ripple like whispers of a bygone era. Imagine pacing through halls that smell of centuries-old incense, the air thick with history, echoing a soft murmur that might just be plotting against you. Now, here's something peculiar. Did you know that some medieval palaces used hidden scent traps to ward off evil spirits? It's a bit eerie, wandering through corridors where the very air might have been weaponized. Even the faint aroma of cloves hints at unsolved mysteries and silently beckons you further. Curious, isn't it, how humanity has always tried to harness the invisible to guard the tangible? Anyway, my attire, a regrettably modern ensemble, makes me as conspicuous as a Wi-Fi router in the Dark Ages. Enter the prince, the paragon of regal stoicism, his eyes narrowing with suspicion upon spotting an anomaly in his domain. He seems under the impression that I might be a spy, though how the swarms of history textbooks failed to prepare me for that possibility is beyond my calculations. His interrogation begins, each question a gentle nudge that sends ripples through the fabric of time. Who sent you? He demands, his voice a gravitational pull to an age when loyalty meant more than life. I try to answer, but my words falter, tangled in a conspiracy between past and present. With every exchange, however, a curious bond takes root, veiled beneath layers of skepticism and intrigue. It's worth mentioning that the politics of espionage often led to spectacularly misguided revenge plans. Monarchs and courts would engage in elaborate schemes, like feigning betrayal to disrupt enemy alliances, a controversial tactic indeed. As I contemplate this, the prince's gaze softens slightly, hinting at a reluctant curiosity marbled with ulterior motives. We both know that trust, in his world, is not freely given. It's earned through shared secrets and silent understanding. You might start suspecting that should a time traveler devise a plan, perhaps it would be to debunk history's conspiracy theories, one palace encounter at a time, and, who knows, maybe revise some portions just for amusement. For now, though, my journey sways delicately on the knife's edge of discovery and danger, leaving traces of laughter mingled with echoes of ancient caution. The prince's chambers are steeped in an atmosphere that feels like an overcast afternoon just before a storm. The kind where the air is so thick with anticipation, you can almost taste the electric charge dusting your tongue. The prince watches me with an intensity that might have unraveled lesser intentions, yet there I stand, a traveler wrapped in mysteries unknown, lingering on the cusp of revelation. As his questions buzz around us, attempting to probe the depths of my silence, I wonder if I should divulge some bizarre piece of trivia just to lighten the mood. Like the curious fact that Cleopatra wore lipstick made from crushed beetles and ants. Not exactly relevant, but certainly peculiar enough to distract us from the tension threading between us. However, I choose to remain enigmatic, allowing our exchange to hang heavy like an unfinished melody. There's a moment, a pause pregnant with meaning, where our eyes meet, and in that brief collision, a connection pulses alive. It is tender yet stern, a paradox I did not expect but cannot help but relish. Perhaps my unwillingness to reveal truths is indeed the product of my conspiracy-riddled time-traveling escapades. It's almost as if I stand a spectator in history's theater, deciding which subplot to pivot, which chapter to annotate with footnotes only I can decipher. For it would not be outlandish to suggest I've contemplated exposing a libelous monarchical scandal, one boudoir consultation at a time, or perhaps sabotaging an old vendetta with nothing more than strategic whispers amid the gossamer court curtains. For now, though, the prince channels his skepticism into constrained devotion, keeping me within a deliberate arm's length that oscillates between duty and curiosity. In the quiet backdrop, I imagine his minions drafting lists of names, potential allies, enemies, and everyone in between, as part of some intricate revenge plot inspired by courtly tales too fantastical not to lend credence. Meanwhile, my mind drifts to quirky revelations about espionage practices, like how during World War II, the UK used pigeons to carry messages, trusting more in those winged carriers than the coded missives exchanged by men of rank. Just a random morsel. I suppose a lesson in discretion should the prince spy my thoughts. The space between us fills with a soft rhythm of unspoken understanding, words not yet uttered hovering in the cozy warmth of candlelit shadows. The prince, bound by crown, yet free in resolve, allows the moment to linger, crafting a bond rendered through silences richer than any gilded promise. There we are, nestled in the palace's intimate corners, basking in the kind of quiet that seems to hum with ancient secrets and untapped potential. The prince, silk-clad and enigmatic, watches me with that mix of vigilance and burgeoning trust. There's a fascinating play of light across his face, highlighting the flickers of emotion he's yet reluctant to confess. Isn't it peculiar how the soft glow of candlelight can make even the harshest skeptic appear disarmed, almost human? As for me, I'm caught in his orbit, this clandestine arrangement of sorts, wrapped in a palpable silence that feels like an unfinished puzzle waiting for the final piece to click into place. I'm reminded of an odd fact. During the Cold War, a certain European city installed a hotline not for diplomacy, but for pizza delivery. It underscores humanity's curious priorities, even when under threat, a deliciously absurd reminder that indulgences persist amidst gravitas. The air is sweet with the delicate scent of jasmine, mingling with the soft musk of ancient tapestries adorning these walls. I lean into this sensory balm, aware that the quiet spell woven between us might just be the universe offering us sanctuary, a pause, perhaps, from all the paranoia and charades typical of this elaborate courtly dance. "So," the prince murmurs, breaking the serene silence with a voice as smooth as honey left melting in the sun, "what do you think of our little palace intrigue?" My mind races, calculating the safest response that doesn't betray too much curiosity or threat. "It's like a dramatic play," I reply, layering my words with a breezy undertone. "Lots of scripts being written, I assume, backstage." He chuckles, a sound that feels almost conspiratorial in its intimacy. "You've no idea," he confides. And I wonder if we're no different from those long-forgotten playwrights who crafted tales as a means to veil their truths in metaphor and allegory. I imagine the prince plotting, envisioning lines upon lines of villainy that requires rare art to disassemble. There's something tantalizing about seeing him as both architect and actor in this web of political espionage, a game of chess where each pawn could wield the power of a queen. Yet beneath each regal word lies a softer layer, a fledgling trust that begins to anchor itself invisibly between our words. Yet there's no denying the thrill of revenge plans hanging like mist in the air. One can't help but speculate. Is he composing sonnets of retaliation, or does he prefer the staccato notes of immediate confrontation? There's an art in such subterfuge, keeping his friends closer, but his enemies just a breath away. Interwoven with his murmured, calculated retorts is an unexpected tenderness, a gesture here, a shared glance there, knitting us closer, though we remain oceans apart on the tapestry of understanding. I find comfort in this dichotomy, a dance of duty and affection, carefully timed like the ticking of a timeless clock. Through it all, the silence remains our greatest ally and our most dangerous foe, each quiet moment pregnant with the potential for revelation or ruin. It is here, cloaked in these gentle shadows, that suspicion and solace intermingle in the most unexpected of friendships. The evening air is thick with the fragrance of jasmine, a sensory embrace that somehow harmonizes with the soft rustle of parchment and the gentle glow of the candle flickering beside us. These quiet moments of shared solitude, you see, are like rare stolen treasures, less jewels, more gentle whispers in antique corridors where history lingers. I idly thumb through the prince's letters and journals, each page a tapestry woven with threads of suffering and ambition. As my fingers trace the ink, the hidden pains unsew themselves. It's almost as if his struggles ripple through the paper into the ether. An oddly captivating revelation from one page speaks of a notorious scholar who believed that ink derived from octopus ink promoted spiritual clarity. While I doubt its veracity, I can picture the prince smirking over such esoteric nonsense with the same bemused expression he reserves for our chess matches. There's comfort in watching him plot seamlessly, a tapestry of villainy balanced with the precision of Renaissance art. It's not entirely clear which side of the chessboard he's playing from, but the undertones of revenge paint a scene that's equal parts chaos and artistry. After all, power is often said to be an illusion, perhaps more fragile than porcelain, yet intoxicating as a siren's song. Conspiracies hang in the air, as palpable as the scent of jasmine, each whisper a calculated step in the dance of retribution. I sometimes wonder, amid this ocean of political subterfuge, if he dreams in verses or envisions sharp, staccato battles crafted for immediacy. There's a delight in this duality between soft sonnets and sharp swordplay, as if beneath every weighty word lies an unspoken trust threading through our conversations like silver lining. Occasionally, our eyes meet, not just mere glances, but fragments of an unspoken alliance stitched together by compassion. It's an odd sensation, feeling distant yet connected, a tapestry for two, woven so intricately laced it almost feels paradoxical. A peculiar irony exists in our silence, both an ally and a silent conspirator. Each quiet moment teeters on the edge of revelation, poised between potential healing or unfolding. There's solace and tension in our silence. It's where suspicion and friendship weave together in delicate strands. In these hushed exchanges, shaded beneath the whispers, an unexpected kinship emerges as we stand together against the tapestry of solitude, threading our unvoiced conspiracies into a shared understanding. The twilight hours slip into our days like the gentle closing of eyelids, bringing with them moments of intrigue wrapped in quiet care. As we pass each other in the shadowed corridors of this ancient castle, a slight nod or an unintended brush of fingertips communicates volumes, far more than the formal greetings that echo down the marbled halls. The scent of jasmine still clings to the air, an emblem of conspiracies whispered in secrecy not far from our ears. It's a scent that reminds me of a peculiar fact. The essence of jasmine is often used in perfumes to evoke warmth and openness, yet here it seems to signify closeted intentions. A paradox, if ever there was one, fragrance alluring, yet implicating. Little do they realize that as this prince stands in such fragrant deception, an unforeseen ally emerges beside him, in me. Moments hang like silk threads between us, each weighed with the potential for revelation or quiet understanding. There's a gentleness in this rhythm we found, a laugh shared quietly in passing, a wordlessly offered cup of tea. These acts, seemingly mundane, are in themselves small revolutions, overcoming barriers of mistrust with their simple presence. It's as though our silence is performing some ancient ritual, in which silence waves its banner like a conspirator cloaked in its own shadow, entwining suspicion with friendship. As each day folds into the next, our alliance solidifies against the backdrop of political maneuvers, a dance where every move is a step closer to unseen revenge plans that unfurl like the delicate petals of the jasmine itself. The prince used to be guarded, his interest ensnared by images of conquest, filled with sharp angles and immediate resolutions. Yet now his gaze shifts, softened by this unexpected bond, almost like listening to an old vinyl record, a melody hidden beneath hiss and crackle. It's intriguing how something so sublime as understated trust can obscure what once seemed inevitable. I have heard it said that a conspiracy's greatest asset is not its careful plotting or meticulous planning, but its ability to remain unspoken, whispered only in the presence of those who understand its gravity. This is what we find ourselves in, the dance of subtext, our words often lingering in the air like the jasmine, sweet yet full of implication. Our silence binds us with its unpredictability, leaning on jokes that flirt with sarcasm, the light humor untouched by the solemn weight that once held the prince captive. In this quiet recalibration, incremental acts of humanity shine through the ornate cracks. And maybe, in our shared story woven with silent threads, we'll forge a comfort that will obscure even the most intoxicating siren song of power with its enchanting simplicity. The moon hangs low, its pale gaze watching over us like a sleepy guardian. The grass feels cool and soft beneath my fingers as I recline beside the prince. It's a night full of whispered possibilities, those impossible dreams that linger just shy of our grasp. I breathe in the crisp air, revealing more layers than might at first seem discernible. The world around us has conspired to create this perfect backdrop. Stars scattered like secrets shed from the galaxy's purse, a breeze carrying the faintest musk of jasmine. The prince's eyes flicker with a story, a narrative holding chapters that still await their reader. He's silent, perhaps lost in thoughts that have grown slowly tender, like wine aged tenderly in a forgotten cellar. We're both quiet, the echoes of 1,000 unsaid things surrounding us. Here, under the firmament, vulnerability takes on a physical form, wrapping itself around my confession, yet still, I step forward. It's strange how the countryside at night can feel like stepping through the pages of an old book, an adventure thick with expectation, fragile and sharp all at once. As I speak, my words tumble out, like an old, slightly eccentric bookshelf tipping over, revealing the hidden things stowed away. The prince's eyes hold a certain warmth now, their steely guard replaced by an openness I hadn't dared to hope for. I'm reminded of an obscure fact that monarch butterflies journey thousands of miles, driven by invisible forces. It feels like some ethereal magic guiding us to this moment, pushing us beyond fear's limits. I hadn't realized how much I needed this, he says. The moonlight catches the edges of his smile, softening the lines that once spoke of unyielding surfaces and battles yet fought. It's the kind of smile that could hush any wicked plot or lullaby the siren's call that power sings. We sit there, two souls finally relieved of their armor, even if just for a night. That's the strange controversy of our encounter. It defies the logic of scheming minds who'd rather trap us within the confines of ambition. The world seems too small to measure such a moment in mere words, as if time conspires to hold us here forever in a scene painted only in whispers. But in our silent agreement, the kind forged with almost no utterance, there lies no revenge, no complex calculations, only the gentle exchange of trust. The unobtrusive bond we share becomes its own sanctuary, a refuge that renders even the most enticing promises of political gain irrelevant. Under the steady gaze of the moon, I realize sometimes the quietest truths emit the loudest echoes, forming a melody all their own. Our sanctuary under the moon envelops us, a silent pact, sparking a kind of ethereal comfort we didn't know we needed. It's like finding the one missing puzzle piece that makes the whole picture appear effortlessly complete. His words, tinged with a soft reverence, drift around us like a small sailboat in a vast sea, perhaps carrying us away from any scourged terrain we'd once imagined ourselves trapped upon. The air feels crisp, like biting into an apple freshly plucked from the tree, and the subtle chill coaxing the hair on the back of my neck to stand is delightful in its strangeness. With every heartbeat echoing that odd rhythm, there's a conspiracy formed by the stars above to keep everything else at bay, a mesmerizing orchestra that plays solely for us. I swear I can hear the whispers of otherworldly creatures, orchestrating our fate with the lightest touch. Can you believe that people actually bury bananas to see if they'll ripen underground? I muse casually, my voice weaving through the shadows of our secluded escape. A peculiar fact, perhaps unnecessary in the grand scheme of things, yet it captures our shared space like the singular piece of art in an otherwise empty gallery. He chuckles, the sound vibrant and alive, as if each laugh breaks free of any chains once wrapped around him. It's funny how these inconsequential musings can feel like a safe harbor, anchoring deeper, calmer waters in the sea of tumultuous pasts. It's strange how our minds cling on to these things, picking them up like stray coins along the road. "What a way to wage revenge," he says with a sly grin, his words dripping with an irony that thickens the air between us like fog. In the ocean of our stillness, there's the buoyancy of unspoken promises, conspiracies that gift us strength instead of aiming for destruction. It's a pact with no calculations looming overhead, just the simple truth that maybe we're okay here, for now. This place, this very moment under the stars, is our clandestine refuge, the escape that isn't about escaping at all, but about finding. His presence carries a lullaby, one only we seem to know, a melody that doesn't need words, just vibrations, gentle as the night's breath. Somewhere between our awkward jokes and deeper understanding, the resonance becomes clearer, like tuning a radio to hear that one distant station whose signal defies logic. We remain wrapped up in the symphony where trust and acceptance play the lead notes, rendering any thought of political gain or mechanics of ambition into mere echoes fading into the darkness. Our conspiracy of connection isn't about calculated dramas or revenge plans crafted in stone. It's about the soothing exchange of humanity, leaving the world's enticing promises as mere shadows beyond the vibrant embrace of today. And as the moon keeps watch, maybe, just maybe, this is what the loudest whispers sound like. Tonight, under the watchful eye of the moon, we decide that it's time to face our shared struggles head-on, like taking a leap of faith with hopes as our safety net. The cold night air carries a promise, a whisper of dreams that transcend the confines of the palace walls we've been tethered to for so long. It's both terrifying and exhilarating, this talk of a future together, clothed in the warmth of our love, adorned with courage and vulnerability. As we plant the seeds of our combined aspirations, the world contracts into a simple symphony where acceptance plays a melody tender enough to melt any fortress of loneliness we've built. Our hopes intertwine, reaching beyond the gilded cages to a life imagined, a life where possibility dances with reality, both blowing kisses to the starlit horizon. Between us, the air is electric with the thrill of our dreams, daring us to believe in a sanctuary beyond ambition, beyond realm and rule. Here, conspiracy is not about launching battles or forging political alliances. It's the shared secret of our commitment, mirroring itself in subtle smiles and unspoken assurances. Together, we weave a tapestry of belonging, magnificent in its imperfections. In this delicate exchange, even the oddest detail lends itself to our amusement. Did you know a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance? Odd, yet charmingly fitting. It reminds me of us, a charisma distinct and rare, perched on the brink of extraordinary. Our conversation dips into forbidden waters with a controversial phrase, a flippant remark about love being nothing more than a mass hallucination, dare I say. Yet, isn't that what makes it so powerful? To choose the madness of loving against all sense and sensibility is the bravest conspiracy of them all. It's the revenge served not to wound, but to defy what should bind and blind us. As the stars sprinkle their silvery approval across the velvet sky, I find in his eyes the reflection of my determination. There lies the undeniable truth of our devotion, the heart's revenge on solitude. It's a plot we orchestrate without pretense, trusting in the greatness of our microcosm while knowing full well the outer world's tempting embrace remains but a pale shadow. The rhythmic lull of deep breaths mingles with the cool night breeze as we linger, counting dreams set aloft like paper lanterns rising. Our shared hope is promising. It sings softly amid the tension that life's uncertainties bring. And as we dream, the future, uncertain yet brightly envisioned, becomes the echo that refuses to fade. The night holds its breath, as if waiting for our decision to play out under its vast canopy. This sudden chance, this twist in the narrative, feels like a quirk of fate, a random occurrence akin to finding a rare vinyl record in an old bookstore. Yet here it is, this unexpected door swinging wide open to take me back through the corridors of time to where I first began. The air is cool, sharp, charged with unsaid words and unleashed dreams. The prince stands beside me, a silent participant in the conspiracy we never intended but felt slowly brewing, a plot of heartbeats against the steadfast tick of time. Together, we parse through the cacophony of possibilities, mapping routes not yet trodden and weighting intentions with care that borders on obsessive calculation. Such is our stolen moment here, a patch of eternity within the generous bounds of a crackling starlit sky. And yet, does not love defy the science of time itself? I murmur this wonder aloud, relishing the slight pinch of controversy in my voice. To love is to tamper with the universal order, is it not? To wrinkle the fabric of time with the soft relentlessness of desire. The prince looks at me, his gaze a gentle interrogation, his posture revealing a silent revenge on doubt, a stance that denies the possibility of change, severing what has softly, fiercely been anchored between us. We stand together in this gentle rebellion against space and time. His hands, warm against the chill, clench slightly more than they need to, claiming their territory not through possession, but through a shared presence that promises egalitarian refuge in a world that often revels in hierarchical constraints. Our revenge against time lies not in denial, but in the sweet conspiracy of living each choice with deliberate grace, a motion symmetrical to that of lanterns lifting, hopeful on the wind's whisper. Far beyond, the horizon flickers with distant epochs and possibilities, the mysteries of molecular gastronomy promising that a perfect foam can produce untold flavors, yet perhaps not the one we've come to savor. Time's beckoning is bittersweet, a strange delight, promising the journey back with whom I might return as a traveler of the heart. Still, the prince's eyes speak of steadfast certainty within the uncertainty. They affirm his devotion unspeakingly, an agreement broadcast in the nuance of sharp realities gently defied. And there, within the embrace of the cool air, under the complicit gleam of silvery stars, we etch the words unsaid, the ultimate slender promise. That love, despite the odds and the fleeting allure of time, holds its own, by virtue of the conspiracies we've dared, the revenge, not against each other, but together against solitude, against uncertainty, a testament etched in the quiet rebellion of shared breaths and unspoken dreams. I breathe deeply, letting the crisp night air fill my lungs. The stars above form a tapestry, weaving intricate patterns across an indigo sky. In this space where darkness is punctuated by shimmering light, the world feels both vast and intimate, somehow enclosed within the bounds of our shared existence. The prince stands next to me, his presence a comforting anchor in this sea of boundless possibilities. His touch, subtle yet definitive, speaks volumes in its silence. It's like discovering an obscure fact about the universe, that octopuses have 3 hearts, such peculiar truths that slip into the folds of everyday conversation, casting doubt and intrigue, just like our decision to remain here, together, daring to forge a path that defies the linear trajectory time insists upon. Our dialogue is fluid, punctuated by gentle laughter and whispers, the type you might overhear in a cafe where discussions about conspiracy theories unfold. Did you know the pigeons acting strange downtown are supposedly government drones? There's a bite to it, a sort of playful rebellion against what is accepted without question. Do you ever wonder? He starts, and it's the kind of question that promises a journey rather than an answer. I nod, leaning into the warmth of his words, the weight of their comfortable absurdity. This is our silent insurrection against the universe's insistence on rules and orders, a gentle revenge designed not out of malice, but from an insistence on crafting our own symphony from chaos. There's solace in knowing that as we stand under the starlight, our hearts synchronize, a rhythm only we perceive, yet potent enough to stir the cosmic order. And amidst those quiet conspiracies of breath shared with the still night, the stars bear witness to our plans, to revolt, not against each other, but alongside one another, against loneliness, against the world's insistence that love is both ephemeral and fragile. Here, in the boundless arms of a love that defies the ticking hands of time, we celebrate our resolve, carved within the luminous mirage of a perfect now, without haste or need to justify why or how, a perfect symmetry drawn upon an imperfect canvas.